Hello. Can you, for those who have joined already, can you please put plus in the chat if you can hear me and you can see the screen and so that I know everything works perfectly fine. I'm just checking also this webinar. Hello. So I guess some people will join us later. But I don't want to wait. I don't want to make you wait for those who have come on time. And in any case, this presentation will be kind of live on my Facebook page as well. So for those who would love to hear it from the beginning, they will have that kind of opportunity. But I want to welcome for this presentation, which is going to be about the first steps into, the kind of first steps, how you can create your wealth, what steps you would need to take as in from today to maybe improve your financial situation, perhaps just to learn about the financial world, increase your knowledge, create passive incomes, because that's what we need these days. We don't have any guarantees with one income stream anymore. So we need to learn how to create passive income streams, how the money can work for us, what rules and habits we need to implement in our lives on a daily basis to see the best, to see the better results with the financial with our finances, basically. So I believe that information is the key to success, and I have learned this information or this knowledge I began learning since 2016, and 4 years has passed, and I can see definitely the result. And I just want to share now with the whole world what are the basic steps that we should all take from the moment that from the moment we start earning the money, from the moment the money starts coming to us, the cash flow. So for the next hour, I would love to get your attention. Hopefully you have your paper or the notebook and a pen with you, to write down some information that I will share with you. It would be good if you turn off or at least put on a silence your phone and your TV, which tend to be a destructive for us these days. And obviously, if you have to take the phone call, you do so. But sometimes, we have all these notifications coming up on the phone that can distract us. And write down all your questions and write them down. But if you have any questions, write them in the chat as well. So hopefully during the presentation, I will have time enough to explain in details if it's going to be necessary. So my name is Anete Martinsone, and originally I'm from Latvia, but I live in the UK for the last 10 years. Currently, I'm in Latvia, in my hometown, because I had to make a decision in the last day whether I go back to the UK or I stay here. I decided to stay here and be closer to my family, and I'm glad to this business, to this opportunity which I'm in today, that allows me to take such decisions and be where I want to be, where which I feel is the right place for me to be at this specific time. So I'm the international speaker. I'm a private investor and entrepreneur. I must say that I'm still learning, to become professional in this field, because there is so much to learn. There is no one book in the world or one course or the training or even one professional person who can tell you everything. That's an ongoing situation, ongoing process for us to educate ourselves and, become better and better and better in what we do. I'm also the Master Profit Trainer and Coach. That's another training program within our Academy of Private Investor Company. And I really enjoy sharing the information with people, because sharing is caring. And especially when you can speak from your heart and you can speak from your experience, because you've seen the results, it definitely adds the value. Okay, I have also experience in sales, marketing, and business management. And I also call myself student of life, because I live by the motto, never stop learning, because the life will never stop teaching us. And I have been in the situations when it definitely proves this kind of motto. I wish in specific period, specific situations, I wished I had more information, or had more knowledge, or experience to avoid my life situations that I experienced in the past. But professionals and successful people become via these kind of hard times, right? It makes us stronger and makes us more to wake us up from time to time, because we realize that we have to keep educating and gain more knowledge to become better version of ourselves. However, before I start, I want to read for you the compliance and risk disclaimer. Me here, I'm offering the opportunity to participate in educational program if you decide to. Currently, this session is obviously for free, just to give you brief information about our educational programs, informational programs, which you're offering in Academy of Private Investor. Whatever you do with this information and what are the next steps, it's totally up to you. However, I will try to do my best to show, how important this information and education is needed for us today, for our future. So this program teaches the fundamentals that underpin and preserve wealth. By participating in the program, you receive a gift that will probably bring you fruit in the near future. So there are also bonuses that comes with our educational programs, which I will touch base a little bit later. So during this interactive session, only general information is provided. We do not provide financial advice. Okay, we do not guarantee that you will profit from the methods and ideas shown. These are educational materials and should not be considered as a financial advice or guarantees. Firstly, there are no guarantees in the world anyways, but yeah, I just want to point it out that there are we don't guarantee here anything as well. However, your results will be reflected and measured in how much and how you apply this, the knowledge. From my experience, I learned this information, I studied it, and I didn't do nothing with it. And it took me time to understand that this is not another course or another training that I've done in the past, multiple kind of trainings I have completed. This information I definitely had to put in my practice. I had to practice, I needed to practice this information to understand how it can work for myself. And once I start putting this information, the tools provided in my life, I could see the results. So again, it's totally up to you. However, the topics for this session is as follows. So the self-knowledge and evaluation of the situation. What topics should be discussed at school, in my opinion? I wish this information was shared at least in my senior classes or in university, so I could avoid some financial difficulties that I had in the past. Academy of Private Investors, and what are the private investment courses that we are providing. So basically brief information about it. And at the end would be dreams and goals. So before we start, it would be great if you answer these questions for yourself, or if you wish in the chat, however you feel comfortable. But think about these four questions. So the first question is, what are you doing these days? Describe yourself shortly. Let's say, are you the employee? Do you have a job? Maybe you're, a self-employed person. Perhaps you're a business person. Perhaps you're sitting mom at home. That's also a very difficult profession these days. So what are you doing these days? Write it down for yourself. Then write, what is your situation? Are you satisfied with the current situation? Are you happy where you are today? Are you happy with the job that you do? Are you happy with the salary you're earning? Perhaps you want to change something or have something extra. Maybe you would love to have more time or more money, or I don't know, maybe you have a passion to build something, but you don't have the right knowledge or the right information about it. So write down the situation. Then write down, have you heard about the investment? Yes or no. If you have, then what it is. Perhaps you can say, I've heard about investment, but I don't feel it's for me. Or perhaps you can say, I've tried and I have failed, not failed, but lost, for example. And why did it happen? Again, is it because of the lack of knowledge, or some mistakes, some rules maybe you broke, what happened with that situation? So have you heard about the investment before? And what are your hobbies? What is it that you are doing, when you have free time, or what would you wish to do when you have free time? And maybe you don't know what are your hobbies, and you want to discover, but again, you don't have maybe time or opportunities to think about yourselves, or maybe you do have and you have enough time for your hobbies. Just write down these questions and answer honestly for yourself, because I don't need that. I've done it. And even more deeper conversation I've had with someone who asked, who tried to self-assess me and myself, and it was a great, very how to say, very important conversation with that person back in 2016, because when I lost my job, I had no idea what shall I do next. And firstly, I was asking myself question, why did it happen to me? How could they fire me? Yeah, they fired me unexpectedly. And what shall I do? How am I going to pay my bills? And I thought it's at the end of the world. But when I was looking for these answers between my friends and families, I kind of spoke to this one person. And this one person, instead of giving me the answers, he was asking me questions about myself, what I truly want in my life, where do I see myself, how I see myself, what do I truly want to do, what are my hobbies, what I'm passionate about. And when I start giving these answers to the person, he said, so do you have the right tools and right knowledge, right information to get from where you are to where you want to be? And obviously, the answer at that time was no. I thought the only one thing that I could imagine was I need to find another job because I need to pay my bills, I need to support my family, I need to do something. But then he said, what if there is another way, to create your dream life, to live the life you dream about? And I said, of course I would love to. So he said, you need to follow the people who have done it already, people that are successful, people who can guide you. And that was my wake-up call to realize that I'm missing some key valuable information that will help me to become successful. And this happens to a lot of people in these days. A lot of people are missing this useful information that will help them to get out of their comfort zone and start doing something, right? We are so stuck in this kind of life that we think it's a comfort for us, but believe me or not, the comfort is actually outside the comfort zone. And I'm sure many of you have heard about the Robert Kiyosaki. He's a great author, written many different books, specifically for the financial world, financial education, how the money can work for you, what is the money game, and so on. But he also has created like a cash flow quadrant, where he presents, or how to say, put people in 4 groups. So the employees, those are the people that have a job. So write down if for yourself if that's you or any other quadrant you are currently in. So the employees have the job, you have the boss, you have someone who controls you all the time. Same time, this person is telling you when you can go on a holiday, when you cannot go on a holiday, how much you will receive, what is your salary. Problem starts when when you have only this one income stream, and you are always kind of how to say, you always rely on this one person or one company that will help you financially. But what happens if this company, there is a financial crisis, or the company is just let's say a startup company, and they are not able to get through like difficult times? of course the company will have to either go and announce the bankruptcy, and they will have to fire everyone, or they just naturally have to, fire people to survive. And then it's you, who is under this company and relying on this one income stream. What if, it's gone? What if, you are fired? And this is happening in the real world right now. A lot of people are losing their jobs, and unfortunately they can't find the replacement quickly, so they get into the financial problems, they start having the stress, how they're going to survive, how they're going to pay bills, they will start having debt. And unfortunately, in this side of the quadrant lives 90% of the people that fight for 10% of the wealth. Okay, let's go to the next one. A self-employed person. These people don't have a bit. Maybe they don't have a boss. You are your own boss. You own the job, right? So you have to, now you kind of have your own time. You're planning your own day, your own calendar. But the problem here is that you have to work to earn. If you, for some reason, are not able to work, you are not getting the pay. If you, for example, go on a holiday, no one pays you holiday money. If you are sick, no one pays you for your sickness. So you have to work to earn. If you don't work, the money doesn't come in. And unfortunately, also here, people are at the highest risk, because if for some reason they're definitely like 100% not able to work anymore, then also by relying themselves on this one income stream, they can get into the financial problems. And, again, the stress, again, the worries about tomorrow and not knowing how they're gonna, survive. So maybe they would have to go back, I don't know, look for a government support or something like that. Yeah. So there, here on this side of the quadrant is the more like people works hard. They work for years, for 30, 40, 50. Sometimes when they're in pension, they keep working because the money is never enough. Why it's not enough? Because 90% of the world's population divides 10% of the wealth. Okay. I have been as an employee, I've been a self-employed person, I'm still are, because I want to understand how the rules, the financial money and the rules works in each of the quadrants. So I'm an employee, I earn the money, I'm self-employed, registered in the UK as well. But at the same time, I'm also the business person and investor. So let's say now we move to the third quadrant as a business person. A business person becomes the person once you start owning a business, a system, right? And you have people that works for you. So let's say you've been self-employed before and suddenly you start having a load of customers, locally and globally, and you're not able to serve these clients on your own. So you need to decide, how many people you will hire to work for you. The moment you start hiring people, you become not just responsible for yourself, but for other people. So you have to you have more responsibilities in terms of the finances. You need to pay the salaries, the sickness, the holiday pay. So basically, you are you have the responsibility for everyone, and you might need to work, depending on the industry, you might need to work for 3 to 5 years in the business. You will have to work hard till the moment that you can move on, creating different businesses or just going and enjoying your life. But also the business people can be at a higher risk if they also have only one income stream. I know personally a few people who did have a business, who did own the business, but because of the changes in the European law for the financial world, they were doing something with the trading, their business went bankrupt, and they had to go back to employment status, right? So they had to go and look for the job. Why? Because they were never thinking, what if something happens to me? What if something, is changing? What if this business doesn't go? What if this business go bankruptcy, right? So even the business people, successful business people, can fail because of certain reasons. And if they don't have another income source, then they are at a high risk as well. Yeah. And again, these days in the current situation, startups, small businesses, family businesses are at the highest risk, and they are, losing a lot. The financial problems hits them hard. And the fourth category is the investor. So the investor is the person who knows how the money can work for them. They're also they can also have the job. They might have businesses. They might have multiple businesses. But the most important the difference between all the other categories is that they have multiple income streams. They know how to manage their money. They know how to utilize their money in the best possible way. So if something happens with one business, they have the plan B and C. They still have some passive income streams created, so they won't be in financial problems the moment something goes wrong with one or the other business. Okay, so what they do, they obviously create different maybe they create global portfolios with different multiple income streams. Maybe we have the different businesses. Whatever they do, they just create multiple ways how they can earn the money. On this side of the quadrant is only 10% of the people, but they are sharing 90% of the wealth. So imagine here, 10% of people, they don't have to work that hard. As I said, they work hard maybe for 5-10 years. They create the system, they own the system, and they know how to leverage their own earned money. So where they get the money from the employees, from the customers, right? And then they are sharing between them. So they are not in stress. They are not, working till 70s, but they are able to enjoy their life. So which quadrant, in which side of the quadrant are you right now, and where would you like to be? Or the right question would be, what information you need today from which quadrant to improve your life, to improve your financial the level of your finances. I always say you don't have to quit your employment, you don't have to quit your business, or you can continue do what you do, but you need to learn the information and the knowledge from those people who are investors. Because you can be as employee and you keep doing what you do, but at the end of the day, at the end of the month, when you receive your money, don't spend everything. There are rules and habits that you need to apply to create a passive income, even being as employee. Because the key to become successful or not to be in financial difficulties is by creating passive income. This is going to be your key to financial freedom. But the problem is that most of the people don't know how to create a financial freedom. They don't know how to manage their own money. They don't understand, how it's possible that you can sleep and the money can work for you. For some people, it's just a myth, right? They don't believe in this, but it actually, that there is such a situation. There is such an opportunity, for you to create a system when the money works for you while you sleep. But as we can see here on this map, it's a financial literacy around the world. The statistics was done in 2018 by S&P company. So they were, I don't know how they gathered this information, but basically they come up with the numbers that is very shocking. This is the fact. This is the fact, right? That the biggest, how to say, the biggest population, the financial level of between the adults is less than 50%. Right, as we can see, only in a few countries like United States, Canada, Norway, England, Australia, the percentage of adults who has financial education is above 51%. The rest of the world is less than 50%, and this is the reason why we have such an unequal money distribution around the world. Why so many people are working hard for 10% of the wealth, when 10% is dividing 90%, they are enjoying 90% of the wealth, just because of the financial literacy. In schools, we were taught professional education, right? How to become good employees, how to work for the company, how to be good at what we do. Well, we were never taught how to use our money. And this is the biggest problem in today's society, in today's world. Because if we are looking at the situation that happens in the world today, there is a statistic that in America, the average person doesn't have even $400 in savings for critical situations, for the emergency situations. How bad is that, right? So we need to learn financial topics such as savings, how to use the credit cards. There are good and bad credit cards. How to do the investing. Firstly, we need to invest in ourselves, in our knowledge, because we are the biggest asset in our lives, right? We cannot start investing outside in different instruments, not knowing how it works. We need to invest in our knowledge, in the information that will help us to become more knowledgeable about this world. Purchases, do we purchase liabilities or assets? A lot of times people are mixing up liabilities and assets. The question to you, and write it down, maybe how many liabilities you have today and how many assets you have. How to create a passive income, how to protect our money. Have you ever heard these kind of topics in school? For example, in my school, in my university, no one ever talked about this, right? No one talked about the organizational skills, developing attention to details, consumer rights, technologies, the innovative technologies, and global economy. No one taught these things in the school. All they told us is like a bunch of information that we need to remember. We need to do the exams and we need to stress ourselves as a kid. But once we finish the school, we don't use majority of those informations received in the school. So why they never teach us something useful that we can use in our real life to understand what is the real world? So now it's time to change this. That's why via Academy of Private Investor, which has been established in 2011 by Andrei Havrato, we have an access to the online educational portal for financial literacy. We have more than 100,000 graduates already. I would say close to 500,000, if not even more. And we do have different type of trainings and courses, online and offline. We have also the board game Genius of Finance, in which via which we can practice all the knowledge that we have received in this academy. And who is the creator of this Academy of Private Investor? It's Andrei Havrato. He is a multidisciplinary professional investor. What it means that he hasn't invested only, in I would say one segment like a property or a crypto industry or the trading. No, he has invested in more than 20 market segments, and he's been in this business for more than 21 years. There has been ups and downs in his life. He went bankrupt twice, but then he realized, by how to say, as I said, you become professional by making mistakes and learning from them. So Andre learned it. Whatever he lost, he won. Whatever he lost, he won even 10 times more. And today he is a multimillionaire. And this is the person that I'm ready to follow, I'm ready to learn from, because he can teach not from the books, not only from theory, he's teaching from his experience. He's teaching from his mistakes, what we shouldn't be doing and what we should be doing, right? And he created this Academy of Private Investors because he wanted to give back. When he became multimillionaire, he understood that he is in a position to give back to people. He has enough knowledge, information, and opportunities, to do this, to create the mission of a new economic evolution of the world, which is his kind of dream, his biggest dream, to implement this mission. And via this mission, we can help people with the financial knowledge. We can help people to become more professional, more confident, allow people, not to allow, but make people to dream again and achieve their dreams, to make people to believe in themselves, that things are not that bad in this world if you just have that key, the information how to make your life better. He's author of the Crypto Unit program, author and presenter of the television program for Secrets of Millionaires. He has been awarded as the best business trainer in 2018 by two magazines, Melon Rich and Financial Times. Member of the board of the organization Generals for Peace. I'm also the member of this association. And lately he's been approved or included as a top 100 greatest Russian leaders, named in the Russians Millennium Highlight. Okay, so you just decide, who you surround yourself, what sort of people you surround yourself, what mindset you have, what thinking you have, because it's not about the money. You cannot be successful by just earning millions, and there are no such a thing as, earn million in a day or a week time, or there are no such a guarantees. Firstly, You need to transform yourself from inside. You need to transform your thinking, how you look at the life, what is your belief system, how you look at the money, how you look at what dreams you have. You need to start transforming yourself from inside to change the energy around yourself. And once that happens, then obviously all the other information and actions that you will make will create you a better version of yourself. You will become successful, but you cannot have the old thinking and wanting to be someone else, right? So you have to completely transform yourself. And our goal with via this company is to educate and help, not to help, but just to add value to people's lives so they can change their life. Between 5 to 15% of the world's population, which is 1.1 billion people, according to 2019 data, which was available on internet. Right now, we have more than 1.2 million participants in our program, and as I said, close to half of the million have completed this course, like 100%, right? So let's see, the 3 financial flows is what you need to, you need to recognize yourself in which financial flow you are right now. There is a financial flow of the poor, financial flow of the middle class, and financial flow of the rich class. Write down for yourself which class do you think you are right now, and in which class you would love to be. I have been in all the financial flows. I started as a poor, moved to the middle, and then I realized that I have to again make different actions in my life, start thinking differently to get into the financial floor of rich, because financial floor of rich is not to become not the person who is a millionaire, but the person who acts as a successful person and who acts as he would be a millionaire already, because there are certain things that the poor class and middle class don't do. Okay, so the financial flow of the poor, what it means. So in this class, people earn the money, they go to jobs, so they have one income stream. So people who has the employment, let's say self-employment business, owning the business, they have one income stream. They don't have any other income streams coming in, but they have loads of expenses, right? So these people live by the principle, always not always live by the principle, and not always say, but majority would say that they don't have enough money at the end of the month. It's natural. The person, the more they earn, the more they spend. And I have been in this situation when I moved to London, and I was earning little amount of money, and I was able to kind of to survive with this amount of money for I think 3 or 4 months, right? Then I start earning more money and I start spending more money, and suddenly I still don't, like, how to say, I earn money, I earn more money, but at the end of the month I don't have money, right? I didn't have credit cards, so I was just spending whatever I was earning, and most of the people say I spend whatever I earn. And I didn't have a luxury life, I didn't have any liabilities, so basically I was living a normal life without the stress. Whatever I earn, I was spending, and that was it, right? Then the next flow is the financial flow of the middle class. This is the next step. So you have still one income stream. Perhaps you earn more money now. Like I was earning more money after 6 months of being in London. For those the same companies, banks that kind of didn't give me the credit card, suddenly start sending me the credit cards from each bank. They were sending and offering me credit card because they could see that the income level has raised up, so I'm earning more money. So now they were happy to give me money. Funny enough, every year they see that I'm able to spend and put money back. They are naturally increasing my credit card limit. And of course, if the person doesn't have the education how to control your money, or the knowledge of controlling your money, probably by now I would have spent all my money which is on a credit card, and I would have to work harder to pay my credit card back, because credit card is not my money, right? It's a borrowed money which you have to pay back from your one income stream. But what people in this financial flow of the middle class tend to do. So you start earning money and you start purchasing cars, maybe properties, maybe you're going on luxury holidays, I don't know, buying very good clothes, expensive clothes, expensive watches, and so on. But the problem with people who are buying the cars and properties is that they think it's an asset for them, but actually it's not an asset, it's liability. It's the liability because it takes your money, it takes your money from your pocket out. It takes out the money from your pocket, it doesn't put the money in your pocket. Assets are the things, instruments, or like no, things and properties that puts the money in your pocket. And a lot of people in this class, they mix up the liabilities with the assets. Many of them thinks the cars, houses, and so on are active, but they can become active. Yes, the car can be asset, but only when it start bringing you the money. And when the car can bring you the money is when you are renting out your car, or for example you're driving as a taxi driver and you're earning using your car, you're earning the money. Same as the property. If you're living in the property, then that's your liability. If you're renting out your property, it becomes your asset, right? Because you're receiving passive income from this property that you live in. In this financial flow of middle class, a lot of people looks, not a lot of people, but let's say there are people who might look rich because they have all these expensive things and they live in the middle of the capital city and driving maybe an expensive car. But the problem is that they are paying for these liabilities from their income, from their money that they are earning, right? Correctly would be if you are paying for your liabilities from your assets, from your passive income, not from your income that comes generating from your job, but the passive income that comes from your, from your global portfolio perhaps, or from your other income streams. If you're paying for your liabilities from your income, you're at a high risk, because what happens if you are losing your income? Right? So let's say I have seen on internet lately a lot advertisements where people are selling their cars, they are selling their motorbikes, they are selling goods, the phones, computers, because they have lost their job, but they have the expenses to pay, right? So they try to get rid of their liabilities because it's an extra weight on their shoulders to pay in these difficult times. So it's better to change the situation. What we need to do, we shouldn't be buying liabilities from our income, but we should buy assets from our income. An asset generating the money should pay for your liabilities. And this is the next financial flow of rich. So you have your income. From your income, you pay for your expenses, but from your income, first you pay yourself. So you buy assets, you buy shares, deposits, real estate. There are 20 market segments with multiple different instruments, which I share you in a minute, that you should buy from your income. Obviously, you need to apply the rules. No more than 10% from your income you should invest. That's another, which I will share in a minute. But financial flow of rich people, from your income you are purchasing assets, and then once your assets are generating enough money to pay for your liabilities, then you're going and paying, buying the cars and houses and taking the credit cards and mortgages. Because if your assets are generating enough money to pay all the liabilities per month, then you can go ahead and do it. But if not, then you still have to go and work and pay more and buy more assets. The more assets you're generating, the more money comes in. The more money you have coming in, the more assets you can buy. And that's the process of creating you need to create a financial plan to understand how long you will be reinvesting your money into your portfolios or into your instruments till it just start generating enough money for your luxury life. Okay, this is the moment when you kind of creating your financial independent or financial freedom. Okay, So how does your portfolio looks like? This is the poor middle class portfolio. In my opinion, this is my opinion, all the people who are going to work and receiving their salary in some sort of way, we can call them investors as well. Why the investors? Because from your salary, you're paying your taxes and you are investing in a long-term instrument, which is your pension, right? So every month, some sort of amount of money, the percentage goes into your pension. So it's like a long term, you after whatever 30, 40 years, depending how old are you now, you will receive your money from your pension fund. But this particular portfolio is very at a high risk because it's not balanced. It means that this particular portfolio has only kind of one income stream and has one long-term investment, right? Pension. If you lose your salary, then your portfolio is not going to bring you the money passively in while you find another job, right? So to minimize this risk, you need to get into the financial flow of rich. It means that you need to educate yourself. You need to invest in your knowledge to understand how you can purchase different instruments every month. So let's say if you have we have 12 months per year, then if you put aside 10%, then this 10% you need to find for this 10%, you need to find the instrument which you can add to your portfolio. Of course, you need to do a lot of research. You need to test the instrument. You need to know your financial plan before you start doing it. A lot of mistakes what people do these days, they fall for guaranteed instruments, they fall for big percentages, they fall for big promises and so on, not even understanding and realizing how the instrument is working for them, how this project is going to work for them, how the money is generating, who is behind the project. So people don't know how to test their instrument to understand either it's guaranteed or not guaranteed the instrument, how liquid it is, what kind of type of risk has this instrument. Is it high risk instrument or low risk instrument, right? So there is a lot of it's not difficult to learn, but of course you're not going to understand all this in one session, as I said, or in one day or 1 week. It's like you need to take little steps to get into this rich class of financial flow of rich. But if you take the baby steps and you do everything slowly, you will understand how this financial world can work for you and how the money can work for you as well. Because in a financial flow of rich, even if you lose your job, you wouldn't be at the financial problems. You wouldn't fall under this, under this stress, because you would have another income streams, another instruments that will generate you the money. Perhaps it's not going to generate you thousands of dollars, right? But even if it generates something, is already better than nothing, right? Because there are a lot of people in today's world that has lost their jobs and they have no income stream, they have no savings, but they have loads of liabilities and expenses to pay. I have no idea even how these people will get out of this situation, and that's why I feel responsible for sharing this information to as many people as I can, because it did help me to get out of my financial problems when I lost my job back in 2016. Okay, so the key is the financial literacy. The key is to understand what rules you need to apply, right? This, to create a financial freedom and wealth, it's a strategy, and the strategy can master anyone, whoever wish to improve their financial situation, whoever wants to understand how the finances really works. It's not just about going to work, doing your job, receiving your money and spending, paying all the expenses. That's not how the money works, right? There is a way how you can make money work for you while you sleep, and this is just a strategy and methods that you need to apply in your daily base. So the golden rules are key to success, and this is the 8 rules of private investor, which we teach to all of our students. You can take a screenshot or write them down, take a picture, do whatever you need to do to note these rules and dig deeper to understand what each of the rule means. But basically, these 8 rules of priority investor, if you learn them, if you understand them, and if you apply them in your life, believe me, um, you will have a better financial situation. It did help me, and it has helped a lot of people who passed this academy of private investor. So the first thing, you need to understand what the terminology, what is the assets and liabilities. Don't confuse. Once again, assets put the money in your pocket, liabilities take the money out of your pocket. Write down, take the pen, do like put in half the paper, divide the paper in half, and write down all your liabilities and write down your assets, and look what you have more, assets or liabilities. If you have more liabilities than assets, then you have to think very urgently how you can minimize your liabilities and create more assets. Okay, understand what's the financial freedom and independence, what's investments and investing. Then you need to learn about the commandments, 5 commandments that you need to implement today. And the most important the most important commandment, which I recommend for you to start from today, is the strong income and expenditure control. A lot of people say they don't have money, but when I ask how much you've spent, they all say, well, equally to what I've earned. But where did you spend the money? How did you spend the money? On what things you spend your money? Majority, 90% of the world population, they don't know how and where they spend the money. So this is if you want to get in a financial flow of rich, that this is the step that you have to take, because the rich people, they will know how and where they've spent the money and where they can save the money. Yeah, and then you will be able to put aside 5% or whatever, even if it's 1% that you pay for yourself. Start paying yourself first, and then pay all these expenses, and all the bills that you have to pay every month. Start paying yourself. Start with 1%. I don't start with $1, but start paying yourself first. Get into this habit of paying, right? Don't give your money to everyone else before you have given to yourself. And then obviously protect, learn how to invest, and always learn more. Create the financial plan. Diversification, very important. Maintain investor discipline. Oh, this is really crucial. Like, if you have your financial plan, you have to stick to it. Don't become greedy, because greediness leads to bankruptcy, and greediness leads to laziness as well, right? Always learn to investing, and always learn to increase your income. As I said, once again, the best investment is investment in yourself. A lot of books are out there, a lot of courses and educational companies are out there that can help you with this information. But as I said, first steps into the wealth creation, if you want to become more successful, if you want to improve your financial, if you are in financial problems today, then start with these steps. Understand firstly what is the financial independence and what is the financial freedom. A lot of people think it's the same, and a lot of people think the financial freedom is to earn $1 million, but it's not. It's the specific number specifically to you, based on your current situation or where you want to go. Okay, not million is not that much actually. If you especially live in London, million is it's not a lot of money. But basically, what is the financial independence? Taking that your all expenses, basic expenses every month is 1,000 euros. If you count all the basic expenses together, not how much you earn and how much you spend, but what are your expenses. If you know, that's good. If you don't, then you will need to take the next step, which is to control your expenses. So take your count all together and multiply by 12, because we have 12 months per year, and multiply by 10. Those will be 10 years. So the financial independence is counted for 10 years when you don't have to work. So the result of what let's say the amount of money that you need to have in your bank account today is 120,000 euros. And you won't need to work for 10 years. So let's say the standard of your living won't go down or won't go up. Well, definitely it's not going to go up. Otherwise, you won't survive 10 years. It might go down because you want to save, and expand a little bit more. You want to maybe you don't want to go to work maybe 11 years, then you have to decrease your expenses. But if you live the life as it is, then your level of living won't change. It might change in case of the obviously economic if the prices goes up, then you might be able to live only 9 years with this amount of money, right? But in general, this means that you're independent from work for 10 years. If you want to become financially free, and this is the case, then you have to have a financial plan, how much money you want your let's say portfolio to generate. If we are still staying, if we want passively to earn 1,000 euros to cover our expenses, then $120,000 needs to be invested on 12% per year, which is 1% per month, equally to 1,000 euros per month. And this amount of money will cover your expenses. In such scenario, you won't need to go to work for the rest of your life. The money will never end. The previous example, in the independence, after 10 years, your money is zero, bank account is zero, you have to go to work. In financial freedom, the money will continuously come in. In case you want to increase your level of living, and if in case you want to start buying cars and houses, yachts, and live in a luxury life, then you need to learn how to invest your money on a bigger percentage, let's say on 24% per year, on 36% per year, and even higher, right? So the more money you want to have passively, the bigger portfolio you will have to create. And let's say again, if it's 24% per year, means 2% per month, 2,000 euros you earn passively, 1,000 you pay for your expenses, and 1,000 is left for you. Either you reinvest in your portfolio and increase, they add more instruments so the portfolio generates more money, or you're spending for yourself for whatever goods and things you want. Okay, so you need to do your calculation, guys. If you haven't done it yet, then take all your expenses, all your checks, all the bills, count them together, and find the number that which you need to have, for yourself every month to cover your expenses. And then figuring out, if you don't want to work for 10 years, how much money you need to have in your bank account today. So the number 2 is the strict control of your income and expenditure. As I mentioned before, rich financial people in a financial flow of rich, they don't have to be a millionaire. It's how you act, how you are managing your money, how you're controlling your money, how you are utilizing your money. People don't have to be millionaire in this kind of financial flow of rich. They don't need even millions, right? So they are happy with, with half of the million, let's say. But the actions they do, the rules they are applying, that's what makes them to be in a financial flow of rich. They will never be in a financial problems because they know how to use how to use their money. So this is just an example how to control your income and expenses. If you want, guys, I can share with you this particular Excel sheet. All the calculation is there. All you have to do is just put your budget income. So from what kind of source of income you have, your salary previous month, maybe some dividends if you have. If not, then you just put your salary, and then you are planning the budget. What's very important is to plan your budget, plan how much money you want to spend on specific expenses, categories of expenses you have to write here as well. These are just an examples. You just add whatever, wherever you're spending your money, holidays, I don't know, if you have a car, maybe you have 2 cars, if you have kids, for kids, how much money goes every month, and clothing, I don't know, hygienic things, and health and food and whatever it is, just write it down here. Maybe you need to add more. Then you need to plan your budget, put the numbers here, and you will know how much money you can spend per month. And then every day before you go to sleep, you have to put amount of money you have spent in each category, right? So these days we all pay with the card, right, with the credit card. So you have to go online banking, and you have to do your you need to look into all your expenses that you spent today and put in Excel sheet. Of course, guys, you can do it either on a computer. Maybe some people love the paper, so you can buy the notebook and just write down everything with the handwriting. Whatever it needs to, however you feel comfortable, but just do it. Yeah. And what I do and what I recommend to people to do as well is to analyze yourself every week. at the beginning, when you start getting into this habit, because this is a good habit to have. Start analyzing every week to see how much you have spent in each category, where you have overspent, maybe where you can save a little bit more next week, and so on. So just balance your expenses, and then analyze the entire month. Then do it for the next month, for the next month, for the next month, and you will see actually how much money you're spending on unnecessary things, on the things that cost $1 here and $1 here. It sounds not a lot, $1 for whatever cup of coffee, or actually it costs $3 plus minus in Latvia. It's a lot of money. But if I pay every time $3, $3 in a month's time, it's a lot of money. It's a big money, which you can save and do something with it. You can put it aside, invest in yourself, or buy another instrument, right? So just do it, guys. Be in control of your money. Otherwise, the money will control you, or someone else will control you. But you have to control your money. You have to be the boss. Okay. So this is a habit which you have to create. Sometimes at the beginning it was difficult, because you have to remember before to go to sleep to put all the numbers in, and sometimes I forgot for days, sometimes I forgot for weeks, for a week, but then you have to just spend a lot of more time to remember where have you spent your money. And especially we need to get into habit of getting the receipts as well, because I believe a lot of times we go to the shop and we say, no, we don't need the paper to save the trees, right? But if we want to remember all the money that we are spending, either when we spend, like, especially when we pay by cash, then either you write in a phone or on a paper or an application. Just do have whatever needs to be done to remember that expense that you pay with a cash. Okay. Then the next one is the financial plan. As I mentioned to you, one of the rules that you need to learn is to create your financial plan, create your pension fund, and understand on how you want to, what kind of portfolio you have to create before you're investing anywhere. As I said, a lot of times people are following their, like, how to say, following their emotions and the guarantees that other people are kind of promising them in terms of the returns of their investment. But you need to be smarter. You need to recognize good and bad instrument. You need to understand high and low type of instrument. And by looking at your financial plan, you will have to make a decision whether that investment, that instrument is good for you or not. Without the financial plan, we are failing. It's the same as to build a house. What do you do first? Do you build a house and then do the drawing of the house, or you do the drawing and planning for the house and then you build it? What do you do first? I hope you do the drawing first before you're building the house. And once you have built the house, once you have the drawings, then you build the house according to your plan. Same about your finances. There is no difference. You cannot kind of invest in instruments or use your money before you have your budget planned, before you know what you're going to do with the money. Before you have your financial plan, you can't create a financial instrument, you can't buy the financial instrument. So you need to have a clear vision, clear plan, clear goals, where in what period of time you want to go and what results you want to have. Okay, so this is the financial plan with the compounding interest. Compounding interest is another, as my company CEO says, is an eighth world wonder. I wish this compounding interest was shared with me when I was in school. I wouldn't overspend my money, and I wouldn't spend my money on unnecessary things. But here is just an example. Let's say that you created your financial portfolio or financial plan, which has to generate you 8% per month. Let's take that 10, you have your salary 100 euros. So the rule of the 5 commandments is to put aside 10%. 10% is 10 euros per month. If we do it with compounding interest, which I will share in a minute how it looks like, then as we can see, in the 10 years time, you would earn or you would generate over 1 million euros. If we are looking at the last example with the 500 euro salary, and the 30%, we are putting aside, because the more professional you become, more educated you become, you can put from 10 to 30% aside for your investment. But at the beginning, it would be good up to 10%. Okay. So it would be 150 euros per month, and with a compounding interest, in 6 years' time, you would earn in profit $1.5 million. Okay. This is just a plan. This is financial plan which you have to create based on your salary and putting aside 10%. Okay. And then let's say you need to figure out how much money you want to earn in specific year. So let's say I'm 31 and I want to earn by 35, I want to earn half of the million. I know my income. Now I need to decide whether I put aside from 10 to 30%, let's say 10%, and I want to have this half of the million in 4 years' time. So I have to create a financial plan for 4 years. And now I need to understand what is the percent that my portfolio has to be created to generate me passive income with a compounding interest, so that I earn in 4 years' time half of the $1 million. Okay, this is going to be my financial plan. You need to create your financial plan, and you need to know where you want to be in what period of time in terms of the money, right? What kind of profit you want to earn, and then you have to stick to your plan. So what is a compounding interest? It's in a simple terms here. You can do your calculation at home as well. It's very interesting exercise, and I would recommend you to do it on a paper with a calculator and a pen, because you can do it obviously on a computer when the computer calculates everything for you with the formulas. But if you do with your pen and paper, you will see the magic coming, like magic happening, and you will see how I became very emotional because I could see how the numbers actually can work for you, how the money can work for you. So here it is. So let's say the salary is 1,000 euros and investment amount is 10%. So let's say every month I have to put aside 100 euros. Okay, so the first month we start with 100 euros. This is initial principle of the money, and let's say I want to invest on 12% per year, which is 1% per month. Okay, so then so the 100 euros I start, 1% is generated every month. At the end of the month, I have generated, my profit is €1, as we can see here. So I have accumulated earnings is 101 euro. The next month, I have to start with the same money. So I have to put again 100 euros aside, but now I have to reinvest the amount of money I have earned in the first month. So the next month, the second month, I start with 201 euro. And again, 1% will be already 2 euros, which I will earn during the second month, and I will end the month with 203 euros. The third month, again, I start with 100 euros plus the earnings from the previous month. So I start my months with 303 euros. Again, it's still 1%, but now it's already 3 euros that generates me at the third month, and I end my months with 306 euros. Okay, so if we can look at the last example, let's say that I want to invest the same amount of money with 36% per year, which is 3% per month. Okay, so here you go again, 100 euros you start, 3% you're generating per month, so your portfolio brings you 3% back. It's 3 euros. And then at the end of the month, you get back your 100 euros plus 3 euros, so 103 euros. The next month, you start with 203 euros. The same 3% generates you that particular month, which is already 6 euros, and you end the month with 209. Then you start with 309, 3% generates is 9 euros. You end your month with 318 euros. 418, you start with the 4 months. And 3 months is already generating 12 euros per month, and you end your month with 430 euros. And you need to do your calculation based on your income, based on your percent that you want to put aside. And as I said, you need to decide how long for how many years you create your financial plan. Is it going to be for 1 year? It's going to be for 5 years? It's going to be for 10 years? You need to create your financial plan. Of course, the plan can be reviewed during the certain years. Let's say after 1 year, you can review your plan. After 5 years, you can review your plan. But you have, before you're making different actions, or you're buying, like, let's say you want to sell some instrument and add or take the money from one instrument to put another instrument, you have to really do the recalculation of your financial plan, because otherwise it can lead you to the bankruptcy, because you are taking you kind of make actions based on your on your emotions, because you see the market somewhere goes up and somewhere goes down, so you take a irrational decisions, and you take and sell one instrument and put another instrument. Yeah, it can destroy your financial plan, and it can lead to, you know, the minus in your bank account as well. So here is an example how $1 can also work for you. So if you put aside $1 per day, and if we have 30 days per month, it's $30. If you put $30 and invest, save for 30 years, then at the end of the 10 years, you will earn $10,800. Okay, so that's the money that you can put under the pillow, or in your, you know, maybe in some envelope, or in a sock, wherever you can save your money, in a jar. For 10 years, you can save $10,800. It's not a lot of money, right? But if we are applying the investment education, if we are applying the knowledge, and we understand that we can invest our money on specific percentage, then there is a possibility to earn more money over 30 years. As an example here, for 30 years, if every month $30 has been invested on 1% per month, which is 12% per year, then at the end of the 30 years, you would earn $105,897, right? That's your earnings, but your capitalization, your net profit will be $95,097. So whatever earnings you have, capital income, you know, what you earn at the end of the 30 years, minus 10,800, because over 30 years you still have invested the same amount of money. You put aside all the time $30, but because you have invested this money on percent, money has worked for you, and it has generated more money. It has generated more than $95,000. So you obviously decide which particular savings and money generation kind of you'd prefer. But here is this just a simple mathematical example, and it can happen. It happens to me, and it happens to many other people. You know, money is working for us. And diversification is another important, very, very important role, because I have had friends and people that I know, when they have taken all their savings and they have invested in one instrument, in one market segment, in one instrument. This instrument was promising them big returns and big percentages, and, you know, in a very short period of time, and or maybe not necessarily in short period of time, also in long term, but the project maybe was a startup, or it was a high risk investment, and something went wrong, and all their savings was gone. It was not there anymore. The problem is that people are, because of that situations, they're burning themselves with the experience, and they feel that all the investments suddenly are bad. It didn't work for them. They lost it. Everything is, you know, like investment is basically a bad thing, right? But it's not. If we know the rules of the investment, then we know that we have to diversify our money. We need to put we can't put all money in one instrument. We have to put in different type of instruments, and in even better, if we're putting in many different segments, then we would create more balanced portfolio. A lot of people are putting in one market segment, and they, especially people who let's say invest in property, and if they're investing here in Latvia in property market, it's one market segment, and it could be even one instrument. Let's say they do, I don't know, they invest in flats, or they invest in houses. But if the market goes down, then the portfolio goes drastically down as well. But if you are diversifying your investment, if you're diversifying your money in multiple different instruments, then something can go down, something can go up. You will be more, the portfolio will be more balanced and more, you know, with a lower risk. Okay, so diversification is crucial when you're investing, and you cannot put a big amount of money in one instrument. You need to diversify it, otherwise you are breaking this rule, and it can lead you to the financial difficulties. Okay, So there is a myth that we can earn money while we sleep. I thought it's impossible how the money can work for you, because you have to go to work and you need to earn the money, because you have to trade your time, your experience to earn the money. Yes, that's the case when you're an employee, self-employed, business person, but not when you become an investor or learning, applying the rules of the investor. These are the market segments I keep talking about. There are more than 20 in the market in the world, but my company's CEO has tested almost all of them, and he feels that these 20 market segments are the best, especially to teach our students in depth about each segment, because you know I guess these are the most, I don't know, profitable ones for him, or the most the best he loved, maybe, I don't know. But basically we are teaching our students these 20 market segments. In each segment or each sector there are multiple instruments. In a banking sector there could be many, from 5 to 10 different instruments. In the crypto market we know that there are different type of cryptocurrencies, different instruments. Insurance sector, there are also different type of insurance. Real estate sector, again, different. It's not just the property. You can have lands, you can have spa resorts, you can have I don't know, car parking spaces. Those all are many different instruments. And what you need to do, you need to do your own due diligence. Take one segment per month and do your research. Try to find as many different instruments as you can. Understand how instrument works, what percentage each instrument brings to you, what profit or return of your investment the instrument will give, and do your map out all the segments, and based on your financial plan, decide which of the instruments would fit your financial plan. Okay. For those who are still learning, I would recommend to imagine the number on a paper. Let's say you have $10,000 as an example. Write it down, write for yourself as a check, like you have 10,000, and create your financial plan, and find out virtually where would you put your money in, and check in 1 month, in 2 or 3 months time, how your money will grow. Okay. If you're not really confident of going and buying your instruments today, that's what I did when I was learning. I created this virtual portfolio, and I was checking every week, every month, how my money is working for me, and I could see the mistakes I was doing, what mistakes I was not doing, how the instrument, what good instruments I decided to add to my portfolio. And based on this kind of exercise, I became more confident and I was able to understand more how each instrument can work. As I said, I'm not a professional in this field, but what I understand is that there is so much information on the internet, and as long as you surround yourself with the right people, and obviously we are not getting recommendations from people, because those people might have different financial plan to yours, but if you are just looking around, if you're testing these instruments, and you will be able to take the right decisions whether that particular market and instrument is for you or not. Okay, we don't fall for just emotions and big numbers. Now that's a wrong way to do. So you need to decide, not to decide, but whenever I ask people whether they're small or big risk takers, for some reason automatically people say they are small risk takers, but it depends. A big risk taker can be the person who doesn't know anything and they are doing things blindly. I don't know how the money work for me. I don't know how the money is generated. I just trust this person, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Big risk taker can be the person who again knows the education, but they are taking a huge risk, but they are ready to take such a huge risk, and they are ready to lose in case, not they're ready to lose, but they know what risk kind of they are taking, and if they lose, they will lose and they won't get into financial problems. Small risk taker is the person again who knows what they do, and they kind of taking small steps based on the rules and habits of the successful person. Small risk taker also can be people who who don't do anything, right? They are scared to take the risks. But I think you need to be a calculated risk taker. You need to have the information, you need to know the knowledge, and you need to slowly apply them. And when you do the calculated risk decisions, you are kind of, you can protect yourself better, right? Because in the world there is a saying, it's not about how much you earn, it's about how much knowledge and information you have to keep what you have earned and multiply it. Okay. um, as I said before, in 2016, when I lost my job, I thought, what risks I have? I don't have risks. But actually, I was the biggest, at that time, I was a big risk taker because I had loads of liabilities to pay and I lost my job and one income stream. So here is the offer for those who would love to learn and dig deeper into our online and offline training programs. I can't share with you all the secrets and all the tips in one session. You know, it's just impossible, and too much information can also kind of not uh, can't benefit. We need to feed ourselves slowly, step by step. But for those who want to learn more about our information and about and learn from the company's top leaders, from the company CEO Andrei Havratov, who is, as mentioned, multimillionaire. He's doing the trainings as well himself. A lot of different webinars, almost every, if not every week, then every other week. And he's sharing his knowledge and experience in this investment world, in also in self-development, how we need to work with ourselves, with our mindset, how we need to transform our thinking, and what things we need to do, what kind of things does, successful people. And we have multiple different packages available. These are just a few of those. As you can see, smallest package is 50 units, which is like similar to $50. We have our internal currency. You just have to go for the exchange and see how much is the $50 in your currency. Smaller package, like accordingly, obviously include how to say, smaller package, less information, bigger package, more information, right? You can start with small package and then increase the package, the volume of your package. Some people decide to go with the big one and really educate themselves now, and like this is the best time for them, so they go for bigger package. But some people feel more comfortable with the small one. I started with the small pack, and then I realized I want to learn more and more and more. There are opportunities to pay everything in one go, or you pay in installments. So let's say for 100 units, you can pay in one go, or to pay 20 units for 5 months. Same as well for 250 in one go, or 50 units for 5 months, and so on to the biggest package. Okay, obviously you reach out to the person who shared with you this video, or person, I don't know, either to myself, and I will be able to show you what other packages we have in our company. But as I said, we have also the bonuses, and we have surprise for all those people who decides that they want to take their life in their hands, and they want to, invest in themselves. Then we have extra bonus, and this bonus is it kind of allows you to earn while you earn while you learn. So you have an opportunity to go to a bookshop and buy the book, different type of books. I have even book here. It's in Latvian though. It's a Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. The book costs 16 euros, right? So if I buy 2 or 3 type of this kind of books, it doesn't come with any bonuses. So it's just the material, just the book. I can't call the author. There are no phone numbers to call him and ask him my questions. There are no extra kind of money coming in. I can't earn while I'm learning from this book, so they don't give me any bonuses. Or you come and participate in our courses. You kind of buy the book, but you can, if you need, also reach out to this company's CEO author, learn from him, ask him questions. You have an access to all other coaches and trainings in our company. And also there is a bonus, a program called Crypto Unit Program, which gives you passive income while you are reading this book. So by just purchasing and investing in yourselves, you can also earn passively. And of course, for those who would love to No, other business opportunities is in a different presentation. But from today, you need to start to fill in the form reality life and dream life. Write down 100 things you would like to do throughout your life. Create the dream board, because with the dream board, you will help yourself and your subconscious mind to understand what you truly want from your life. Learn the golden rules of an investor. Start tight control over your income and expenses. Create your financial plan and learn 20 market segments, because once you learn 20 market segments, the money will start working for you once you start obviously purchasing those instruments. Here's kind of another questionnaire for yourself. You can take the screenshot and answer the questions later today or whenever you feel comfortable with and when you have time. So the first part is your current life and yourself. So what situation you are right now. So this would be your current island on which you are living. And the second is to understand what is your dream life, how it would look like, how would you wish it to look like. And that's another island that you need to draw. And then decide whether you have how to build the bridge from the island, from one island that you are today, on how you can get to another island. Basically, you need to build a bridge. Imagine you have a sharks underneath. You can't walk just like that. You need to go through the challenges, through the difficulties, because it will be necessary for you to get out of your comfort zone. You will have to do things you never did before. You will have to keep spending time not by the computer, not by the TV, but by the books, and by doing, I don't know, learning stuff. You will have to sacrifice something to gain something in the long term. So you have an opportunity, an option here, whether to build a bridge on your own and find out the tools and instruments and strategies and methods how you can get there without losing the motivation, because a lot of people are giving up in a halfway and they say, no, it's too difficult, I don't want to do that, and they go back to the kind of comfort that they've been living in. Or you can get the support from those people who are on this another island. They have an opportunity to help you, to give you the tools, to support you, to motivate you, to not let you go and give up in a middle way. Those will be the people who will help you to get to the end. And I've chosen to go that way. It wasn't easy, it wasn't simple, but if success was easy, then everyone would be successful, right? So you just have to decide whether you want to live your dream life, and what kind of dream life it looks what dream life looks like for you. Start with that, picturing it. Start cutting out the pictures. Start creating your dream life that you can look at every day. I have my dream life in London, but I can't live without my dream life, so dream board. So I had to create one more here in Latvia. And my mom was looking at me and she's like, what are you doing? But I said, come mom, do it with me, and you will see, how the things will start changing inside of you. And we did it together. Well, it's not finished yet, and it does really help. You can see the smiles on person's on my mom's face. She started dreaming, imagining it. And of course, you have to believe in yourself. You cannot think about good life and say to yourself you won't be able to achieve it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your abilities and your, like, that that you have everything that it takes for you to achieve the dream life. You just need a little push, you just need a little support, little help, maybe some extra information, and someone who is experienced in getting to this financial flow of rich and living the dream life. But uh, you have to make a decision whether you want to go on your own or with someone. And things to think about when you're creating your dream board: it's not just about the money, guys. It's not just about the things which kind of we think the money will make us happy. Not always. We need to be in harmony with ourselves. We need to do the meditation. We need to be in a positive state of mind. We need to look at life more positive rather than negative, right? So we need to connect with that new version of ourselves before it has happened, right? We need to think about relationship with our families, with our friends. We need to think about how you can improve yourself. What bad habits you can kind of give up and create new habits. How you can what wrong decisions you have taken in life and what you can learn from it. Think about all those things. Think about health, prosperity, reputation. What is your hobbies? What would you like to do? You just put everything that comes in your mind about your dream life on that board, and just look at it, put it in on a wall where you can, which is visible, put in a visible place where at least with one side of your eye you can look at it, at least if it's just a second a day, but at least you're looking at it, and subconscious mind will start kind of picturing it and start kind of how you call it, recording in your subconscious mind, and you will see how the universe will start working for you. And that's it, guys. Learn about these things. And if you want to know more about our company, about our mission, what is the new economic evolution of the world, why we have so much, why we put so much focus and energy into educating people and helping people to understand, what they really want and what is missing in their lives, then join the next presentation and ask for the link if you wish to find out about the mission, how to create a passive income, and the business opportunities. Yeah, so this was just a brief insight from our for our Academy Private Investor, but believe me, there are so much more to learn. There are thousands of minutes that you can go through and learn on your own time, or via the webinars and trainings that our company is providing every week, almost every day. You just have to tune in and be open, with the open mindset, with a growth mindset, and feed your mind with the right information. Stop watching TV, guys, because it's not going to help you to reach your dream life. It's not going to help you to make yourself a better version of yourself and make you successful. TV is programming us every day with the information they want us to program. I don't watch TV, and I don't recommend you to watch TV. Better start reading books, start watching different courses, I don't know, attend different trainings, do whatever it takes for you to become successful and feed your mind with the right information. Okay, TV is not giving you the right information. And follow me on Facebook if you want to follow. I do share sometimes some good tips or some of my thoughts or my realization about the life, about myself, or how you can improve yourself, about the money. Basically, something that you can, I don't know, some things that you can maybe think about as well. Basically. And that's it, guys. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for those who joined me today. It was my first ever session, which I did, but I wanted to use my time wisely, and I didn't want to kind of just, I don't know, do nothing. I wanted to use my time productively. So I decided to create such a session together, and hopefully some of you will benefit. Some of you will find it useful and benefit from it, and I will continue do it every week because I don't have anything else to do. And I want to share to as many people as I can this type of information. At least you will start thinking about it, because if we don't change it, if we don't change our routine, then things will never change. And we have to take this decision that we want to improve our life and get out of the situation we might be in today. Thank you very much, guys. Applause to yourself. And I hope to speak to you soon or hear from you very soon. Okay, thank you, and good evening, goodbye, good morning, whichever part of the world you are today.